You're doing a lot of looking back in your new book. So let's talk about that a little bit. 768 pages. Are you using a very large font or something?
They cut me down from 1,200. They made me edit it down. I was devastated. So the idea is to do an ebook that's full length.
Give us a sneak preview of some of the highlights.
The highlights are gloriously indiscreet, and you know that idiom about what happens on tour stays on tour. Well, it doesn't. It goes in Hooky's book.
And
So I'm expecting to make a lot of enemies.
who are you dishing on? Like the other members of New Order, or
Myself, actually.
yeah?
No, mainly myself. Yeah. I mean, it's about New Order. We're very much a product of the 80s. We started in May 1980, and we finished with the World Cup song in 1990. Then we had a break, and then we hardly were together for 6 or 7 years until we finally got together after 97, 98. So the thing is that we were a complete product of the 80s as a decade. And the majority of the book is about those 10 years. You actually get to fly through the history of New Order once you get to 91, because we just weren't together. You know, I did Revenge, I did Monaco, came back from Monaco to New Order when we did 97 at Reading, I think, or I've not got the book with me, at 96. So, yeah, you know, I'm writing about a very, very busy, very golden period for New Order. And there's a lot in it. I mean, I was amazed. Well, the thing that shocked me, really, was how little was in Bernard's book. I felt he did himself a great disservice, as well as the band. You know, he had 100 pages on New Order, and 69 of them were calling me a twat.
So he spent a lot of pages in his book calling you a twat. How many are you calling him a twat in this book?
About 740. Yeah, no. I mean, I felt that I was very fair in the Joy Division book, and I felt I was very fair in the Hacienda book. And again, I've been as fair in the New Order book. I mean, it's weird, you know. I mean, we had a love-hate relationship. Now we have a hate-hate relationship, which shows no signs of abating. And whilst this court case against them is going on, I don't expect things to get better anytime soon. The interesting thing is that you do try and tell the truth. What surprised me again about Bernard's book, which I've said many times, was that he got a lot of things wrong in it, and he didn't tell the truth, in my opinion. He really didn't. And what I've done is that I've tried to tell the truth as it is, and you may not like it, because you know I think you'll know in this business that not many people do exist solely for the truth. This business is called show business. It's not called show friends. So the thing is that we hide. You know, we make everything look great. You know, everyone's having a great time. You know, we set up those little barriers and call it backstage, and then all of a sudden everybody wants to come into this little world of backstage like it's Narnia. And there's a lot of, yeah, I mean, I've been party to it. I've enjoyed it. I'm not going to call it. But yeah, it's interesting. You're trying to break down some of the barriers. You're also telling the story of your life. There's a great chapter that I really enjoyed writing on the Stone Roses, because I was instrumental in, I'd like to think and hope I was instrumental in their success right from the start. So it was nice to talk about that. You know, I mean, there's many things that you've talked about in it. When I look at it now, I'm still remembering things that should go in it. But I'm very, very proud of how much I did remember. My God, you know, what I went through. It's amazing I remembered anything.
Let's get back to the subject of when you left New Order. Phil Cunningham was quoted as saying, he decided to leave the house, and now he's outside it, chucking bricks through the window.
Yeah, Phil's an idiot. We didn't leave, we split up. We met and decided that the group was over. And then, in their infinite wisdom, Steve and Bernard started working together, and then decided that I'd left. So, you know, I mean, the thing is that it does depend on who you talk to. The interesting thing about it is that most people go, well, what does it matter whether you split or left? You know, what's the difference? But the difference is that if you split, you each keep the IP.
Right.
Yeah. If you left, the rule of thumb is that you're not entitled to any of the IP or goodwill. And that's what they're trying to do. The reason they excluded me from New Order in 2011 was because they didn't want to play with me, which was fair enough. But you can't treat people like that. You can't just take 31 years of someone's life and suddenly decide how much they're going to profit from it going forward, which is what they did. We had a limited company where we were each 25% shareholders. What they did was they formed a new limited company and transferred the name and the goodwill to the new limited company with their majority of 75, and decided that from then on, instead of getting 25 cents in the dollar, I'm only was worth 1 cent in the dollar. And it always makes me laugh whenever Bernard says, oh, every time we play, he still gets paid. And not one of you journalists ever say, how much does he get paid? Because I think if any of you said it, he'd have to go, oh, well, let me see, me, Steve and Gillian get 99 and he gets 1. I mean, does anybody think that's fair after 31 years of New Order?
The essence of the lawsuit then is basically the band's earned $12 million and you want a real share of it because they're playing your songs. Is that it?
No. I own the goodwill and I own 25% of the brand name that they're using. So you think if it was Coca-Cola, mate, and it was you, you'd be going, well, hang on a minute, this is Coca-Cola. You know, people are buying it. They're doing it because I helped build the company. So I want my fair share. I don't want what you three have decided I should have. You know, you sit down. In the real world, you sit down and you hammer out an agreement, don't you? I wasn't allowed. It was all done behind my back while I was in China DJing. And when I came back to a fait accompli. And from now on, I was told that my 25% of New Order was now worth 1%. 1.25% to be precise. And I couldn't do anything about it. But that wasn't true. And I went to court, and they'll be going to court very soon.
Is this something that will drag on for years, do you think? Or can you see an end date relatively soon?
It's going 5 years now. You know, the wheels of the law grind very, very slowly, sadly. So I don't know. I mean, if you believe me, if you think I'm enjoying it, then you'd be insane. Andy Rourke said to me when this started that what happened to them with the Smiths was the worst thing he'd ever been through in his life.
Right.
And it did make me think, no, surely that can't be. And lo and behold, it is. Just let me get rid of this duck. She brought a duck in. My wife thought she'd come in with a duck. No, yeah, and Mike Joyce said the same thing to me. He said, oh, Hooky, this will kill you. And I was going, oh, it can't be that bad. Surely, you know, I'm in the right. Justice will be on my side. You can't treat people like that. Exclusion is the worst kind of bullying. Surely. But now, you know, it grinds very, very slowly. And it's been hell. I think it still is hell.
Is there any way that you think you could come to a settlement anytime soon, and then perhaps even a reconciliation?
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, the thing you have to do there is meet, don't you? And I'm offering to meet, but it falls on stony ground. So the only sort of communication you have is through your solicitors.
So you've tried to talk to Bernard, and he basically hasn't responded to your calls or emails?
No, I've offered to meet to discuss the problems we've got.
And he said no, maybe because his lawyers are saying
no. I don't know who said no. I'm not party to that information. It's just that I'm still here, 5 years in, and we've not had any meetings. Stupid, but that's life. I'm not the first, mate, and I won't be the last. And if you go on Wikipedia and look at how many bands have been through this, it actually surprised even me of how many groups go through this, you know. And unfortunately, the only people that win are the lawyers.
Yeah.
Because even if, you know, your lawyers win or their lawyers lose, they just move on to another mug, I suppose you'd have to say, wouldn't you?
Looking back on the split, what would you have done differently? Is there anything you could have done differently? Yeah,
I mean, I think the thing is that I should have gone and told Bernard myself instead of getting my managers to do it. But, you know, when you're really annoyed with somebody and really pissed off with someone who, in your opinion, you've watched destroy everything you've worked for 27 years, you know, you don't really want to go around and have a chin blab with them, do you? Conflab with them. You just want to go, piss off, you know. And yeah, so maybe that's the thing. I should have done that, but hindsight's wonderful, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm sure you've been through a few yourself, mate, where you felt like that.
Just a couple, yeah.
We all make those mistakes when the emotions are high, when the feelings are high, and then of course when you cool down afterwards, they seem ridiculous. It is. It's very, very sad. And New Order was such a fantastic group. They really were. They changed the world, more than once. And really, that's what we should be celebrating together, not this ridiculous backbiting session of like a playground. Split left, split left. It's I'm sure people are like, oh my God, grow up. But that's it, isn't it?
Looking at it from the outside, it seems that everyone has a lot of mutual respect for each other. There's no lack of respect. There's just resentment.
Yeah. I mean, it's Bernard has his opinions that he expressed in his book about me. A lot of them weren't true, which I took great delight in shooting down in my book, of course. But people make up their own minds, and the internet is a weird place, isn't it? Even you get people that like you, and you get people that hate you, and then you get people that love Bernard, and people that hate Bernard. And I'm with you, Hooky, he's a bastard. And then I'm with you, Bernard, he's a twat. It's just like that, isn't it? I suppose the way you have to go through life is as long as it stays pretty much 50-50, then you're okay, aren't you? You can move on.